During the summer of 2022, major flooding across the U.S. displaced hundreds of people, swept away buildings, and claimed more than 50 lives.
This is unbelievable.
You have multiple factors that are playing together that are kind of capitalizing and producing some of these dramatic flash flooding events that we've seen.
Dr. Jonathan Gourley, who studies how to predict flash floods, says a combination of outdated infrastructure, extreme weather events, and a backdrop of warming temperatures contributed to these floods. And research indicates they could be getting worse.
Most of the time, the way that flash floods occur is from heavy rainfall that's occurring from above.
Flash flooding can appear within hours, sometimes even minutes, of a rainstorm. Large volumes of water fall quickly and can flow downhill into a stream or river. The river rises and overflows its banks as a result. The floodwater moves swiftly and, in populated areas, can take residents by surprise, trapping people in homes or other buildings. Large debris like cars and trees can also be swept into the flow, posing additional danger. In urban settings, the fast-moving water can overwhelm some infrastructure.
Because we have a large urban footprint over cities like Las Vegas, they're simply not able to handle the incoming rainfall in the storm sewer system. The soils there have been covered by concrete and asphalt, and so that causes the water to basically turn into runoff immediately. Whenever the water does become runoff, it also moves very quickly.
Areas in the U.S. where wildfires have killed vegetation are also more likely to experience flash floods.
The soils there don't permit as much infiltration as they normally would, and there's less uptake by the vegetation, and that can cause big problems with severe erosion, flash floods, and that can even cause a debris flow.
Some cities have implemented green infrastructure projects that could help mitigate flooding. Philadelphia and Portland, Oregon have used porous pavement, which allows water to pass through. And New York offers funding for green roofs, where vegetation can help reduce and slow stormwater runoff. Since 1901, the average annual precipitation in the contiguous 48 states has increased at a rate of 0.2 of an inch per decade. And in 2021, more than 18% of U.S. land area experienced extremes in intense single-day precipitation events. A peer-reviewed study by Dr. Gourley and other scientists found that if greenhouse gas emissions remain high, Earth's warming climate could cause flash floods to become nearly 8% more extreme by the end of the century. That's in part because warmer air holds more water. For instance, the same volume of air can hold around twice as much water vapor at 70 degrees Fahrenheit as it can at 50 degrees.
So whenever we have a mechanism to move that air up and it begins to cool, and that sets into motion the rainfall that's going to ultimately result in the flash floods.
Flash floods caused $2.4 billion in property damage and killed 135 people in the U.S. in 2021, second only to fatalities related to extreme heat. According to the National Weather Service, most flooding deaths from 2011 to 2021 happened to people while driving.
Unless we adapt our cities and adapt our ways of moving around and our infrastructure and everything, then we would anticipate there being more fatalities from flash flooding and property damage.